Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Howdy, howdy. Thanks for being here. Just going to take a few seconds for people to get settled. Turn on your video if you feel like that's something you might want to do. Say hello. And as you're getting settled here, maybe I'll just begin by acknowledging that Concordia University and ForSpace, and we are of course running this event once again through a virtual ForSpace, that we are located on unceded Indigenous lands. The Kanyankahaga Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather. Jojage, Montreal is historically known as a gathering place for many First Nations, and today it is home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other peoples. We respect the continued connections with the past, present, and future in our ongoing relationships with
everywhere. Seems like we might have lost Anna there for a moment. Let's give her a second and see if we can get her to come back. Well, it seems we might have lost Anna. We'll have her. Oh, she's probably going to rejoin. Everyone, just hold on 1 second, and we'll see if we can get her back.
Did I freeze?
You did freeze.
That was really fun. I really personally enjoy talking to myself, so that was a great experience. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm sure I was just in the midst of welcoming you all here, and for this tinkering and building session, we have one more left next week, so we hope that you can join us then. And today we have Anna and Ariane live from coming at you from the stronghold of activity at the Concordia University at the Center of Creative Reuse. So I'm going to pass things over to them very quickly, and just wanted to let you know that if you are comfortable doing so, you are more than welcome to turn on your camera, as many of you have done, just to say hello, so we can take some time to acknowledge each other, say hello, and talk about the projects that we're going to be working on today, if you'd like to share that. While we are recording and live streaming, we will keep the view concentrated and pinned on the Tinker Cam. So your face and your background, you will not be on the recording, you will not be visible. So feel free to engage, and we'll be sure to kind of keep your privacy. Okay, so on that note, welcome again, and I'll pass things over to Anna and Ariane. Hi, guys.
Hello. Welcome to the Build and Tinker session as part of the care package making sessions. So late last year, we sent out about 602 care packages across Canada, and those included all kinds of different materials. And this particular package today was full of most of the things that you can see here on the Tinker Cam. And so we're here today just I'm going to be making some things and sort of talking through it, but we really, really welcome you to come and share what you've been making. If you're making anything, it doesn't have to be related to the materials here. It could be whatever you're making in your space right now at the moment. Anna, did you want to say any extra things?
Nope, we're just happy to have you here, and this will be a very informal and kind of easy conversation. It's just so nice to carve out some time during the week to do some kind of playing with materials. So I know that not everyone maybe here received these kits, but really the principle is to just use what you already have. So take a look in your junk drawer and around in your cupboards, and maybe you can find some materials to kind of work with today.
So at the Center for Creative Reuse, we collect materials from all over the university. So it could be materials from a teacher retiring, it could be a department moving from one building to another. A lot of what happens though is departments digitizing. And so one of the things that results from that is you get things like, I hope you can see it, it's weird because it's see-through, but this piece of acetate, we have boxes and boxes of it because overhead projectors are not really a thing that's used on campus anymore. There are a few here and there, but much fewer than there once was. And I got really inspired by another care package recipient that joined us in the first session a few weeks ago, Sheena, who made a little mini greenhouse. So I made myself a little template. I'll show you here. It's just based on a 8.5 by 11 or letter size piece of paper. And so I'm going to be making that as we talk and chat and share. I see, I'm sorry to call you up, but I see my sister has joined today from Ontario, which is really nice to see, Marielle. So thanks for joining us. I don't know if you've been making anything, Marielle, but if you want to share, please do.
I haven't made anything specifically out of this kit. I brought my box of extra stuff.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm sort of going to look through and see. One thing I do have, and I was thinking of maybe using some material like this, is this is your, you know, like a Ziploc box.
Yeah.
And I made a Barbie house for my daughter for Christmas. And I emptied this the other day and I thought, wouldn't it make a great closet for a Barbie?
Oh. Nice. Yeah.
And I was thinking I could use a rod, and then I just thinking this from the kit, maybe that could be a rod.
Oh yeah, the straws.
Yeah, the straws, which maybe the wooden one, but I really like your little greenhouse idea too.
Yeah, it's the first time doing it, so it's a bit of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for joining us today. Anybody else want to share what they're making at home during this strange time?
Yeah, I can share. I found this bag of beads in my room that's just like the kind you would make when you were a kid. And it's got all kinds of fun little beads. And I've been making necklaces with them just in my spare time when I'm watching something. And it's just a really nice thing to kind of do when I'm paying attention. I think because I would love to knit, but I don't have the patience for it. So I think it's my kind of version of when people knit when they're paying attention to something else. And it's been fun to come up with the color combinations. And I found a rhino bead. I don't know why it's there, but it's pretty funny. So it's been fun to kind of look through all the different beads that are in there.
Cute. Thanks, Caroline. Nice to see you too.
Yeah, nice to see you as well.
All right, so I don't know if I'm doing this right, but we'll see. Kind of put this template together a bit last minute, but so the thought was to try to make as little waste as possible. So far, all I've made, well, waste, but they're usable bits. So a little square piece and a little triangular piece. So my hope is they can be used for something else later on. And if I did this right, I should get 2 small little greenhouses out of it. And my thought was it's that time of year to get the seeds started for the garden. Although it's hard to think about gardening when here in Montreal, there's about 4 feet of snow outside in some places, but it's coming. Spring will come eventually, right? So yeah. Anybody else want to share? Just say hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was on mute. I was talking to myself. I'm Sylvie, and I haven't done anything with this Tinker package because I don't know, like I found a lot of things were cold and plasticky, metal, like there was nothing warm in there other than the letter.
Mm.
Everything was like, so I'm trying to warm up to these cold materials and it's not happening. So I brought in some other things I had hanging around that I always put to the side. So I have no idea. I am going to try. I have this old, the cork, the
Yeah.
hot pot. Well, I left it in the oven one day, and so it's kind of burnt. So I thought, well, maybe I could make something of that. And I've got some pine cones and some branches, and I've got cardboard. So I don't know. We'll see what comes.
All right. Sounds good.
I like the idea of mixing some fabric or something with those kind of harder, cold objects. I also struggle with that kind of like those pop caps and these like kind of things you see like one of sometimes, but like what could you do if you collected them all up? Like could you sew them together or like add them on? I've seen a pop cap used for a picture hanging. So
Okay.
like embroidery hanging, like as a way to kind of hook something onto the wall potentially.
that's an
That's
idea.
very light, I would imagine. But has anybody else tried to use those pop tabs? Kind of a weird thing.
I know people come.
No, go, Sylvie.
People collect them for to melt down to help out with the I don't know if it's the amputees, but to buy wheelchairs.
Mm.
Right. There's like a charity that you can donate them to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a classmate that made a whole dress,
Whoa.
like a ball gown.
It'll be heavy.
It was pretty heavy, and I don't think it was quite that comfortable, but it was pretty cool though. It was pretty cool. Okay, so I've cut out my first. It's really hard to see that. I should have thought of this, but it's really hard to see it. But I'm starting to score very lightly with the X-Acto or Olfa knife or box cutter. It's got a lot of different names all around everywhere, but to score very lightly on the plastic, not to cut, but to just score to make it easier to fold it.
Could you just use like a ballpoint pen or something to fold?
Maybe.
Like then it wouldn't cut through. I don't know.
And I've got, it's not my favorite thing, but I got a hot glue gun going. I'm going to glue the roof parts together. Hopefully, we'll see. Also an experiment. What other kinds of things are people making? Or what are your favorite materials to work with, maybe?
Oh, that's cute, Mariel. It's a tiny little clothes hanger.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So I pulled these out. I was like, what could I use them? And they're a lot more
Uses.
stronger than I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm just making a bunch of tiny clothes hangers, and then they can
Nice.
go on.
How did you
in my
pull them out?
closet. I just kept, there was like a little tear in this at the top, so I just kept pulling, and then, but probably some scissors. This isn't too tough. You could probably cut it open. This, I don't know, I'm like Barbie focused, but this makes me think of of like a pool noodle for a Barbie.
Oh yeah, the shell of that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would float.
It might
Pardon?
float.
I wonder if
Oh.
it would float.
I will have to find out. Set that aside.
All right. Let's see here.
So what other things did you put in the Barbie house? Can I ask? Marielle?
I can just show you.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably easier. So my daughter is 6. And, oh, hang on. Can I turn this around? Maybe I'll have to do it this way. Okay. So this is the house.
Wow.
So it was a dresser, and then my husband took all the drawers out, and then he built this, and then I painted it. So we did some of this stuff. So I went to thrift stores, and then so this is from the thrift store. I made a table here out of a box, and then I made these couches out of this weird foam we had, and then some cardboard. And then that's a window. So it's an old picture, cardboard, and scraps from the same curtains we have in our living room. And then this is the fridge I made. You can see
Wow.
that. Just a box, and I added shelves. And then up here's the bed. That's like a clementine box.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, they're perfect. Perfect size. And then I used actually in here is one of those weird packing sort of bubble things.
Mhm.
And I just sort of made a cover for it and sewed it up. And then those sort of those packing things for the pillows. And then that's the bathroom. So just a bunch of cardboard and weird plastic shapes. And then up here is what my daughter turned into the rooftop.
Cool. The patio.
So she's got, so this is an old thing. I think it was my son's Lego or something rather. And so there's the pool. And then a little barbecue I did with a tea box. Tea box, covered it, and then printed off some little Weber, and then again a weird plastic thing from something and some beads. So
Thanks so much.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
that was my good COVID creative fall winter project.
I love it.
Totally.
Oh, I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, this is my first time joining with the package that I received. And I just had a question regarding, is it, generally speaking, should we be following what Arian is doing right now? Or is it literally like we get the package and we can kind of go to town with it and then we share and then, okay, perfect. That's
Yeah,
what
totally. It's totally up to you. I'm just making it up as I go along.
okay, that's great. Just because I got my whole class to sign up for one of these packages.
Oh, wow.
And so I know they all have class most of them have class at the moment. Some
Right.
of them actually be here right now, but or they're going to see the recording later on the Fourth Space Facebook page.
Yeah.
And they can hear my voice right now. But it's more to know if I wanted to attend to see if there was something in particular that we were all going to kind of make, or if it's more of a space to just make our own and then share what we're making with those materials. Okay, perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're very welcome. Yeah, we really wanted it because everybody sort of understands making and art in different ways. And some people might not consider themselves artists. But I mean, I think really everybody is in some way. we all have different skill sets. And so, yeah, it's really up to the person receiving to figure something out, find something to make with it. And this is really tricky, but it's coming together.
Yeah, all of the different themes of packages, there's 5 different themes that people can choose from. They all just had like a random assortment. There was no project in mind. It was more of a hope to kind of spark some creativity and some excitement, and curiosity of like both things that maybe you see often in your normal life and things that maybe you wouldn't have access to before. So, I mean, when we assembled all the kits, there was some thought that went into like what could be useful, like what's easy enough, like that wire to try to like bend with your hands. There is a little piece of like metal that's inside the CD case that's a little bit more like dangerous, like a little bit harder to play with potentially, but the CD cases are a really cool like entry point as like a frame, or as Ariane was saying, like a greenhouse. You could put a little seed in there and put it in the window and watch the thing grow. But really it was just kind of like throwing sparks out to see what will come.
Thank you so much. It's fantastic. It's such a great initiative and opportunity in general. And it's just fun to get things in the mail that aren't bills.
Right? Okay, so my greenhouse sort of worked, but not really. I didn't think about this opening at the end when the last corners came. It's really hard to show this.
No, we can see it. It's good.
You can see it. Okay.
So what's your dilemma now?
I don't know. I think I would use it as is. It's kind of an interesting little thing to put over a little seedling that might be growing over the next few months. So yeah, and it used most of that sheet. All I was left over with, which maybe I'll use those to close the corner, but I have these little pieces. If I put a background, does that help? Well,
What about if you stapled the 2 pieces? Does that work?
Or tape?
It could do, yeah, some tape. Some tape would work. But I'm gonna try another greenhouse now. I don't know why I'm on this greenhouse streak. So we have a lot of, this is another thing, is like as old media starts to become discontinued, you end up with all of these leftovers. So Marielle's showing a CD there. So I think I saw, and I did some Pinteresting before this session. Somebody used a bunch of these to make a little greenhouse. So I'm gonna try that right now. We'll see how that goes.
I just thought of something for the CD.
What?
I'm gonna put it, we have chickens. I'm gonna put it in the chicken coop because it's like a mirror.
Oh, nice.
Chickens really like to look at themselves. And we have a big mirror kind of outside, but this is really light and I could just put attach it through here to the wall. Anyways, if that works, I'll try and get a picture and
yeah, that'd be great.
That's cool. Have you ever, sometimes you hang things in the garden too, to sort of like disrupt the birds or?
Oh, yes.
Squirrels.
Yeah, and the chipmunks.
Oh.
This would be really good too, actually, because then the sunlight bounces off it, and then we had sort of taken branches and wrapped tin foil and put beads and stuff. But that would work. It honestly, it kind of didn't really work. The chipmunks kept coming, but it sounded nice and it kind of looked fun.
Yeah. I'm sliding over here.
Okay. All right. So greenhouse phase 2 is coming together. I've also seen a lot of people using these case tops or even the whole. So I'll grab the CD that you might have received. So it had that little piece of metal. These pieces of metal, and you can see one's quite colorful on the other side, are scraps that we end up with from the print making department here at Concordia, or the print media, I think is the proper term for the program. It's a program in studio arts, in the fine arts faculty here. And these are all the sort of, it's like I think the term is a plate that they create with this sort of very thin aluminum sheet, and their image goes on that, and they can create their prints from that. Most of the CDs that we get are old, and yeah, this is some kind of installation CD or something, so there's no precious information. But people have been using this and printing pictures that fit in the front cover, and then like drilling a hole into the wall and mounting that on the wall, and then just creating this beautiful grid on the wall. And I don't know, it looked pretty cool to me. Okay, so I'm gonna glue one more side here.
Deirdre, did you have something you wanted to say? You're on mute.
No, I just said what a cool idea.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about it as like a photo collage, something.
Yeah, I saw someone else kind of with the same box that I'm showing now, is they slid pictures all the way around and then put like a plant in the middle. So you can sort of have, your family pictures or whatever all the way around. Okay, so.
That would be something cool to do with kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to also, you could like paint sort of like a little bit on them and it would be transparent, so you could add details to a photo or a background or something.
Okay, so.
Is it okay if I make an announcement?
Yeah,
now,
hi
or-
Lisa.
Yeah.
Hi,
Lisa.
everyone.
Sure.
My name is Lisa, and I'm a staff photographer at Concordia. So I was hoping, what I've been trying to do recently with Sucker is some remote portraits. So if any of you are interested in being photographed in your own environment, I would photograph you from my home to yours. And yeah, it lasts about half an hour or something. So I'll leave my email address in the chat. And if anyone or any of you are interested in participating, it would be great. I photographed Christine White last week, and it was really great.
That was so cool. She talked a little bit about it at another time that we saw her, and she said it was such an interesting experience to like have you be behind the camera, but then her working together to sort of come up with the shots and figure out the angles.
She was great. I mean, it's really, the nice thing is because she just really understood space. So when I would say, move the camera this way, she understood the phone, her own phone.
Right.
So what ends up happening, if any of you participate, when you're being photographed, basically I'm giving you direction where to put your phone so that I can take another picture or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Like it's a lot, it relies on communication through voice more than anything else, which I think is nice, very traditional in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So here's my address, and yeah, I hope some of you are interested. I'm around for another week, and yeah, okay. That's and thank you.
We have someone in the chat that said they'd like to connect, so we'll.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. Okay, so.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you so much, and sorry to interrupt. And
no, not at all.
Absolutely not. It's all about interrupting.
We miss everyone. We miss seeing people.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be together.
Yeah.
So Here's
Whoa.
greenhouse phase 2 or version 2. It's a bit weird, but it's holding together. And I'm debating whether or not to put some of that acetate on the sides, but it might be nice to have this sort of ventilation spot. I don't know, but you could start probably a few seedlings in there. One of the things I like to use is an old egg carton, the cardboard ones, to start little seedlings in, because then you can really just put that cardboard right into the ground afterwards. So
I also saw like the clamshells, you know, that you get, sometimes you get berries in, or like bigger kind of fruits maybe, or rotisserie chicken that has like the clear lid. I wonder if like those would all make really good like seedling starts.
Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. One thing I was thinking of my childhood, and like used to get those little windmill or those pinwheels. So I'm going to try. I keep using this material that nobody can really see except when it reflects in the light, but try making a pinwheel out of that. So let's see if we can do that. See some new names on there. Welcome everyone. Just having a little afternoon making session. You can watch my hands as I go along. I've been making a lot of greenhouse themed things with plastic actually this afternoon. You're welcome to share what you're making. And it doesn't have to be anything related to what you see on the screen right now. It can be whatever you're making, whether you're knitting something or collaging or I'm using an old, we get a lot of samples from the planning department here at Concordia. So this is like a linoleum tile sample. And I'm just using the other side as my cutting mat, and it works really great.
What a good idea.
All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, pinwheel. Remember how to do this. The other thing about almost invisible material is it's really hard to see where all your lines are, but I'll figure it out. Deirdre, what are you working on? I'm curious.
I was inspired by the person who was making Barbie doll stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I have a grandson who's 2. So and he has a dollhouse.
Yeah.
So I'm making him a garage.
Cool.
For the dollhouse.
Nice.
Can I see? Can you show me the? Oh, nice.
So this is going to be a ramp on the top section, and I'm going to I don't know, make some walls up here. And then little kids like to look into doors and everything.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there's lots of doors and windows.
Oh, nice.
And different kinds.
Very
So
cool.
that's where it stands right now.
Awesome.
I love miniatures. Like small things are just so sweet. You know, it's really.
They have a miniature show, well, they did, every year off of the Trans-Canada at a hotel. And it's so much fun to go to. And they sell like, you know, well, first there's like an arty kind of display of all these fabulous dollhouses. And then you can buy everything that you could possibly imagine in miniature.
Wow.
They make a lot of things out of balsa wood.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sell off all the remnants of the leftover balsa wood that because they kind of like punch it out, die cut it. So I
Right.
always buy there and buy like bags of these scraps. So I'm an art teacher, and then I give the scraps to kids, and we make stuff with it.
You're a person after our own hearts, Deirdre. We give lots of scraps away too. Sometimes balsa wood. Oh dear.
I have a question that's way out there.
Oh, go for
It's
it.
about making, but building.
Yeah.
Does anybody know of any neighborhood in Ontario or Quebec where you're free to build a tiny home?
Ooh, that's a very good question, Sylvie. It really will depend on the legislation in your
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Some
I've
towns
looked,
are yeah.
but nothing is seems to be free yet. Like it's all organized. It's a builder that's building certain, amount of houses, and you have to buy one of his.
Right.
Like in the States, or Vancouver, I think you can. But nobody knows anything. Ontario, Quebec.
I think it depends on how permanent it is too. Like if it's on a trailer bed and it can be like moved and it's just like hooked up for a certain amount of time. There are different rules. Yeah, it's hard to say. I know that in there are like many municipalities have very strict rules even about like RVs and how often they can be kind of like occupied a residence. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's still pretty much controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a neat on the, I think it was the Current from this morning on the CBC, and they were talking about in Kitchener. I think it was in Kitchener. Anyways, if you go to this morning's program, you'll hear it. There's a segment about they're not, well, I guess they're really, really tiny houses. They're more like garden sheds that they've been using in this industrial park, and they've set them up there for people who would otherwise be homeless.
Yes.
And so they had sort of an agreement with the city's zoning bylaw that they kind of waived that bylaw for that year to kind of have a trial to see if this would be feasible. So a bit different than what you're talking about, but kind of a different scale, a different partnership, but maybe there's some leads there to how do you go about either waiving the bylaws or getting them changed.
Yeah, I saw something like that too. I'm not sure if it was Ontario or out west for a lot of the military people coming back with PTSD. Yeah, so so they seem to be coming that way. But like, I mean, in the States, I mean, they're so advanced. They even have training. You can even actually go and become a carpenter, specialize in building tiny homes. So we're not anywhere near that.
I have seen there was a Quebec company that was doing a workshop, like a summer intensive course, and I don't know if you're here in Montreal, but it was hosted at Bâtiment 7 in Point St. Charles, and it was like several weeks long, and you would like build together about one small tiny house. But it was like a way for you to kind of understand some of the principles and like, and I wonder if you can, I'll take a look and see if I could find that listing, because there might be somebody you could contact that was leading that.
Oh, that would be great.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Because, I mean, now with the pandemic, I mean, it's really making people think, about housing and how big a mortgage they want.
So true. I mean, we'd love to buy on the island of Montreal, but
no way.
The prices have gone completely
Crazy.
through the roof. So
Yeah.
all right. Trying to channel my, I don't know, 10-year-old self to try to figure out how to put this pinwheel together, but it's
Yeah, I think you got it. Just put all the points to the middle. Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
But,
We have a comment on Facebook that was talking about somebody has been making 3D collage houses with boxes and building kind of a village. So they like the idea of the CD cases and are going to try that. That's really wonderful. I'd love to see the picture of the collage houses too. I've seen sometimes people do on scraps of wood, painting, and then in the garden or outside little like little villages from scraps. Hello. Yeah, Larissa joined us.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also lovely.
Just trying not to poke myself with this either. All right.
my perfectionism is holding me back. I'm decided to make a clock. And with these little metal things there from the cans there, I'm missing one to have all the 12 numbers. Yeah, so I got out my buttons, and now I'm looking at my buttons, and it's like I can't part with one, you know, like, oh my goodness, I've got like 200 buttons, and it's like, oh no, but I like that one. I might use it for this. Oh, I might use it for that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta let go, Sylvia. You gotta let go.
Oh no, it's just a button.
I love buttons.
Oh, I know, they're pretty, eh?
All right, I think. Oh, I broke my stick, but I think I did it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. I don't think it'll. Well, it spins if I turn it with my hand.
You have to blow on it.
It's it's a little. I don't know if it's. Let's see.
Maybe put a button on each side, and then feed it with hoops.
Yeah, to be like something that will.
That will move. Yeah.
That's
you can see in my. Whoa.
Well,
a washer and
Oh.
a nail.
We're just having fun out here on the.
yeah, that's great. You're making us laugh.
If I can show you something.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I went for a workshop, and if you look in between,
Yeah.
like spacers, and by putting spacers in it, that's able to move.
Okay.
That's a good point. So maybe if you took a button and then ran some, not like the pin through it, but like maybe a piece of wire, that it wasn't so tight.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Deirdre, what are those other pieces made out of?
They're made out of acetate, like you guys were using, and just like a Mayfair kind of cardboard, and then it has a stiffer cardboard in the back.
Right.
So it's
Cool.
And then it turns.
But did they paint the front? Like how does that?
Oh, it's just it's permanent marker on the first level on the acetate, and then it's just regular markers on the other.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So interesting. I love the way it's a gear.
Yeah, it was. It's a free. If you're a member of the National Arts Association of America, you get to go to this workshop for art teachers in Virginia, and I did it twice. It's not so free because the activity is free, but you have to get there. You have to, get the hotel, but it was still worth the wonderful experience put on by Blix, which is an art supply store.
Right.
You do the most things you never thought you would do.
Yeah, that's is that through the NAEA? Yeah. Oh, I did that a few years. That's my background too, as an art teacher, a high school art teacher in Victoria.
Oh,
but
nice.
Haven't taught in a few years. Doing this instead. Actually, this project comes, partially because of the lack of budgets in public schools. And I was working as a public school teacher. I was doing all of that collecting and scrounging and like the hustle that so many art teachers and so many teachers in general are really good at, but it just seemed like such a silly disconnect that there was like, you know, institutions throwing out large amounts of usable materials, and then students and people that were so eager to use them but just didn't have access. So
Right.
why create kind of a reuse center, a collection site that would be able to take in from institutions, sort and display, and then give away for free. So
Fabulous.
yeah, so that's, I mean,
Wow.
we
great.
needed that at Concordia. Yeah,
Yeah. Everywhere. I mean,
everywhere.
we need to create. We need to get back to having fun with nothing, you know, with making something out of nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Use what you already have. But some
Mhm.
people don't have access to things, so it should be use what's already here, like for free, not this kind of restricted to only only one type of like population or one area. So I mean, it's not just for students. This reuse center is for anyone that can get here in normal times. I mean, here in Montreal, people from all over the city come to take materials for their own projects, for their own making, and yeah.
They go to Concordia?
Yeah. So
Oh.
I mean, not right now. Obviously, the campus is closed, but yeah, we have a depot that's open to the public in the Gray Nuns building. And we're usually in normal times open about 3 days a week, where you would come in and take materials from our shelves, whatever kind of interests you, whatever project you're working on. And then we weigh all of those materials out. So, and ask the person what you would have spent. So it's about waste diversion, since all of these materials were technically garbage at Concordia. So we get the weight of what we're diverting from the landfill and sending to new projects. And we get a sense about what the value is. So somebody might know exactly that they would have bought a canvas at Omer de Serre for, you know, like $19 or something. And they get one, it's used, but they can paint over it, no problem. They know that it would have cost them $19, save the money. So, yeah.
Wow. What's the name of the building again?
It's Gray Nuns, but you can find us. I'll put in the chat our website, and we're part of Zero Waste Concordia. So the Center for Creative Reuse is one of the many initiatives that is looking to reduce the amount of waste on campus and to find alternative uses for it. So it's cuccr.ca is our website. Yeah. And you can, I mean, yeah, in a normal time, you would be able to like come from downtown off the metro and walk through our pedestrian gate, our exterior access, and there's a whole map on our website, and be able to fill your bag and take what you need. And that hopefully will be able to kind of get going again when campus reopens. But yeah, it's been a very vibrant community for people to come and get get ideas, find an alternative. And many of them are students. They're working on like specific class projects, and they're like, really problem solving. And maybe it's their urban planning class, and they have to build a maquette, or they're doing set design, or they're in studio arts or sculpture. So those obviously make a lot of sense to have an abundance of material to be reused. But also many of them are students that their academics don't have anything to do with arts, and they're just, looking for some way to kind of connect. Ooh, that's cool, aren't you?
That's really nice.
Whoa, sharp.
It looks it's a bit sharp. So
that's with this thing here.
Yeah,
metal
that's
piece.
using the little aluminum. You can score it and then tear it, which is what I did with the X-Acto blade. And you just got to be careful with like doing deeper scores where you want to tear it, and then very light scores where you just want it to bend. But yeah, also able to make this one. I would need some other tools to be able to put a hole through it,
Like a nail.
like a nail and a hammer. But we don't want to do that on camera. Be a bit loud, but
that would be good in your garden, Marielle. That kind of like spinning, shiny thing.
Like
ward away the.
Or on your balcony to ward off the pigeons.
Yes, exactly.
Put a rope on it. And...
Yeah, that's a really good idea. For trying that.
So how did you cut? Did you cut it like a pizza?
Yeah, so it's the 4 corners.
Okay.
And then you cut almost to the middle, so you have to leave a gap around the middle.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't it doesn't become 4 triangles, I guess. And then bending 1 point towards the middle.
Okay. Nice.
I had to look it up online because it's been a long time since I've done that, but it's yeah.
Pretty. Okay.
Larissa, what have you been making? Hello. Would you like to share? Hi.
I just joined to see your faces, really.
Oh, just half of it for you.
Just the top half of your body. I'm actually not been very creative throughout the pandemic. It's really like sucked my motivation and creative what have you. But yesterday with my grocery delivery, I ordered some Play-Doh.
Ooh.
And I tell you, my friends, I'm time traveling. Just the smell of this, like this delicious smelling dough has made me feel like I'm 3 again.
Yay.
So I've just been playing around with it. I really like the feel in my hands. And since I wasn't going to tinker, I was like, oh, I'll just go on and play with the Play-Doh while you guys are doing fabulous things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I totally feel you. The zapping of the creativity. It just like, it's definitely a challenge to find brain space and energy to do anything extra. So yeah, I'm glad you're here. It's really nice to see you. And so we're just, playing around. This is like I was saying, I mean, in some of our previous sessions too, we did, and it's just like nice to carve out 90 minutes in the week, like if possible, to just spend time doing something and like something with other people. So we're thinking about ways that this kind of can continue. I mean, the art hives have been really good at adapting. They've shifted their kind of studio model to some of them are doing online kind of making sessions. I can also drop that to find out more about making with the art hive in the chat as well. But it just seems like, like I'm gonna just find time. Time is such a strange thing right now. It feels like we have so much of it, and yet it's just so easily exhausted.
Yeah. Exhausted is the word. I've been sleeping a lot.
Yeah. That's good. Rest too. Rest is important. Yeah.
So are you and Arian both at the center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there people there?
No.
Why are you wearing a mask?
Well, yes. I mean, all of you are here. Thank you for joining.
How come she's wearing a mask and you're not?
Why are you wearing a mask?
Well, I mean, most of you know that we live together. This is my partner in life as well, so we don't technically need to be wearing a mask, but maybe general public doesn't know that. And if you're here at Concordia, masks are required. And like especially when you're traveling to and from your workspace. And now the disposable has come into effect as of the 15th. So we're just wanting to make sure that all the protocols are adhered to and that we're setting a good example.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Oh, good. I have a question. I been painting and I found one in the outside, you know, in the garbage. And I thought, well, you know, that's a canvas. I've not painted on canvas before, so I thought I could paint all over it, but I'm not sure how to do that. Like, do I have to use oil or can I use acrylic? Do I have to put a base coat? Like,
So there is a gesso that is for oil or acrylic. Like it's specifically designed to cover no matter what. But we have sent out hundreds of canvases, not knowing whether they were acrylic or oil. And really, like, if you put a layer over it and build, you may see that there is some oil, like if it is an oil painting and you put acrylic over it, it may bubble a little or potentially give some kind of, you know, residual spotting. But I mean, most of the time people don't care. They like the texture. It doesn't really matter. They're going to be using wild colors. So use what you have.
okay.
If you really would like to do a technical oil piece over acrylic, there you get into some, you know, like problems there because you're basically painting with oils onto plastic, and that's much more challenging. And if there is a, you know, a big lumpy oil paint and you put plastic paint, acrylic paint on top, it may not stick. So if you want to be sure, I would say gesso with something that has the capability to cover for both.
Okay, thanks. Because I don't have any oil paint. I went to go to the co-op. I'm a member at the co-op at UCAM because it's handy. Well, I didn't realize it's been closed for a year.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to order online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the campuses, all of the projects that are associated with Concordia have all been closed since March. There's very little activity. There's been some things that have been able to open up in some smaller ways, but it's very restricted. I would imagine that UCAM is the same.
Yeah.
I thought with the stores opening that the store there would be open, the boutique.
Yeah, the trickiest part about any kind of bringing campus activity back is it's such a drastic change from having switched to everything online that it creates actually more issues for anybody involved, whether it's the people running the co-op at UCAM or even professors switching from doing things online to coming back to campus. It's a big leap that we all made back in, you know, the early parts of probably August at this point. And even earlier than that with all the classes that happened just in the, you know, the early part of the pandemic. So yeah, it's just about finding new ways to do it. Another suggestion for the painting would be to, if you have the ability to take the canvas off and flip it around and then reattach it to the wood frame, then you could put anything really on that back.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll try that.
So another way to upcycle your old canvas.
Yeah.
So I used this material, which was I think it was in the build package, to finish the corner on that my first little greenhouse. It's not super pretty, but hey, it brings it together.
It works.
Like tape. Yeah. So
nice. You could do each corner if you wanted.
Could do each corner, make it look uniform. Yeah,
Make
for
it
sure.
look like you planned it.
Totally unplanned.
Speaking of things that are open at Concordia, I'll plug where I work. The gallery in the library building, the Ellen Art Gallery, is now open to the public. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Very cool. Good to know.
And the exhibit is wild. Like, I saw it briefly in December. I haven't been back to campus except for once in December since last March. And it's I don't know how to describe it, but it's really, it's wild. There's like a huge, yeah. Anyways, I would recommend it. There's not many people going to the gallery, so it's really safe to go
Right.
visit. You'll be given a mask and sanitization when you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's, yeah, you'll
And
probably.
do you still enter through the library building?
No, we enter now through there's a Bishop Street door on the
Right.
side there that enters directly into the gallery in our office space, and that's how you access the gallery.
Excellent. I'm gonna put the link.
Thank you.
It's really good to know we all need some extra art in our lives, and being able to go to an exhibit is really important.
Is the MFA, the Museum of Fine Arts, open?
I have no idea.
I think it did, but I haven't been.
Yeah, the thing with the bigger places is always the fear of there being like too many people, or you might want to check ahead of like whether or not they're doing reservations, so that it's timed in terms of like how many people are accessing the space. But smaller venues, I feel they're doing pretty good at just monitoring how many people enter at a time and the space and how it's used.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm obviously not there. I'm working from home.
Yeah. I'm glad you're able to do that.
Me too.
There's some other, we've talked a little bit about other ways to access materials since we're not open. There's a new Facebook group that that kind of popped up from some of our Sucker members and some community members in Montreal. That's like a trading group that it's like, you know, you share what you're looking for and like make a post, and then people might say, oh, I have this, I'm in this neighborhood, come pick this up, or I'm looking for that. It's like a nice network way to do that, and I'm going to put that link in there. It's called Creative Reuse Zero Waste, and it's
Crow for short.
Yeah, Crow.
Oh,
It's been really amazing. It just hit 1,000 members since it started. And all kinds of things on there. Hey, I have, 20 egg cartons. Does anybody want them? Kind of thing. Or or a whole collection of jars. I don't want them anymore. Anybody looking for that? So.
Or like, hey, can you save this for me? There was a post, I think this morning, that somebody wanted to do some natural dyeing, and so they were asking people in their area to save avocado pits and peels instead of putting them in the compost, and that they would go and pick them up so that they could get a big batch. Like, I just love this kind of community idea of how to kind of share what you have, and that like you would just compost that pit. It doesn't mean anything to you, but it's also not that much trouble to save it if somebody else is looking for it. So
you can actually get pink, pretty bright pink from an avocado pit. If you're dyeing, you can even use it as an ink. If you add like a vinegar or an alcohol base to it. It's pretty cool. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm playing with this wire that we saw with Marielle before, and the button, but I don't know what I'm doing.
I think my closet is it needs some color on the outside, but
But cute.
So
wow, it's so many hangers.
I used this straw and I hot glued it and I bent it, and then this is an old like lip balm case thing, so that's for accessories.
Wow.
And then I made I did one of these on for the door.
Oh, nice. So
I'm gonna have to add some
one of those
color. Yeah. I was gonna use a pom-pom, and then I was like, oh, this kind of works better because they can grab it,
Right.
So anyways, I'll see what my daughter thinks when she gets home.
I love it.
But I have to sign off, but thank you so much. This was
Thanks for
this was
joining.
good for me to have some creative time by myself, kind of.
So nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
For those who were just joining, that was my sister joining from Ontario.
Really cute.
That's good. Everyone can join.
Everyone can join.
And we'll be taking in some of the photos that people have been sending of the work that they're creating, and putting together an online kind of like show. Usually in normal times we do an art show and that happens in March, and then we have like artists in residence that work with us over the winter semester, and obviously we couldn't be together like that. So this kind of Canada-wide making together is a nice way to sort of like switch that up. And we'll be putting together, photos. So if you'd like to send photos of anything that you're making, whether it was with the box, with the package of materials, or on your own, we'd love to add that to our show. Ooh. Okay, we had another comment on Facebook about sharing instructions for the die. I'll add some
Cool.
links in, and you can freeze them, which is really cool. To keep the avocado pits, say, you just wash them really good and get any of the green off. The green leaves like a black kind of unpleasant residue, but if you wash them really well and either let them dry on like the counter or put them in a container and freeze them, then maybe you can collect enough to actually dye with. Yeah.
Anybody else want to share what they're making? I think is this turning into a jellyfish? So like the button is the top, and then the wires are becoming, do you call them tentacles for a jellyfish? I don't know.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I just found a blog post of somebody that did the avocado dye, and the colors are so beautiful. So I'm going to add that link here. You also selected, Ariane, you selected a few makers on YouTube. Do you want to talk about the ones that you chose?
Yeah, so I follow this person, Laura Kampf, out of Germany, and they're really into upcycling and just like making things with scraps that they find in like scrap yards, rather than buying new materials per se for their projects.
Are they the person that did the tiny house, the conversion of the horse?
Yeah, so they took an old horse, like a horse trailer, and changed it into a tiny house, and it was a pretty cool project, pretty involved. Like they're a really skilled maker, they know how to weld and things like that, but it's really inspiring just to watch them and like see their process and see where they made mistakes and learn from it. And then there's Jeremy, who's he finds a lot of ways to find things for free. So like going to a scrapyard and scrounging like old motors that still work out of, like an old washing machine or things like that, and finding ways to use those to, make new machines or power something differently. So I think Anna's sharing those in the chat. So if you're into just watching what other people are making, even more so than today, you can go and check out those two particular makers. I really enjoy watching them get creative.
Yeah, that's inspiring, I find.
Yeah. There's so many people doing such cool things. I mean, really, like, and I love this new, I mean, not new, but like this accessible way to sort of gain access to their knowledge. And especially since we're not really able to go in person to workshops or to like seek out classes, or, you know, it seems like there's been just an increase of information sharing in a way that I like really like. You can watch it on your own time. You can, you know, skip around and find what kind of inspires you. And yeah, without the price tag too, which is also nice.
Yeah.
I was talking in the last session, it was and we were talking about crazy quilts and like what to do with kind of like really scrappy small fabric. And there's another group that we follow that's like Upcycled Cloth Collective, and somebody was making these very small, irregular sized sewn quilts. And I really wanted to figure out how to do that. And so I just watched a series of YouTube videos of this woman at her sewing machine doing, oh, that's neat, making these like crumb, like small, crazy quilts. And ended up kind of getting the hang of it and was able to use a nice like bag of scrappy stuff. Oh.
There's my.
It looks like a spider.
Maybe it is a spider. I don't know. It's got more legs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Has anybody done anything? So we sent letters in a lot of our in those kits. Anybody that got the kit, have you done anything with the letter yet, or thoughts? We weren't sure. We just thought it was cool and threw it in there, but no.
I got a letter from you guys and Mark.
Oh yeah.
Mark was hacking with us that day.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was super sweet. I was away for the holiday. And I came home and there was my care package. Very excited already. And then I opened it up and then there was a sweet little note from you guys. And it was like the best, you know, because you had so many care packages and who even bothers looking at the labels at one point? You're just sticking them on the package and closing it up and away it goes. But
there was a lot of love in each one of the packages. It was amazing how there was like a flow of how they got sent, but that final step and thinking about what people would, you know, like to have in them. And we sent out a few special extra little note in there.
Yeah.
Well, now that I know that you did it for a lot of people, I feel less special.
Oh, I see.
But I felt real special at the time.
You are. You are. So everybody got the note from Andrew Woodall, which is really funny and cute. I don't know if everybody knows who Andrew Woodall is. There was the kind of picture of him.
A caricature.
The caricature, yeah. He's the dean of students, and so this project kind of was inspired by him and wanting to connect. Like, how do we, you know, stay connected in this like very strange time? And so he like contacted us and figured out a budget to be able to use for the postage. So we were able to donate our time and use our time for this project. But the Dean of Students office paid for all of the posts, which was a really significant on, you know, 600 packages. And we definitely couldn't have done that without that support. But just so sweet, you know, we just want to do something nice.
I didn't get a note from Andrew.
Sylvie just showed a picture of it. I think you all got that.
That one?
Can you
I
see?
didn't get that.
Really?
Hi, folks. Hey, folks.
I'm-
It's Donna. I'm going to switch on my video, although I look awful all the time.
Oh, hi, Donna.
Okay, there's my video started. And boy, do I look awful.
No.
No, you look
I
just
don't
fine.
need that. I don't need the second one. I'm not outside anymore. That was from this morning. Okay, well, basically I started and then I realized I couldn't find my glue sticks because I still have a lot of materials all over the place. So I
Mhm.
started glue gunning and then I came to a stop and I said, oh, this is frustrating. But anyway, I started a little thing, maybe a little steampunky. And it
Oh.
looked like a turtle, but it's becoming a dinosaur. And I think I figured out ways to at least temporarily attach. Now I'll probably have to paint some things. Now let's see if we can actually get it on screen. Yeah, it's starting to appear. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
It's
wow.
backwards.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And I have trouble with getting things like this on camera.
That's okay. We can see it.
There it is. And you see it's got bobble feet and this tail that's a very cool tail. It's a plastic hook.
Yeah.
And now I've got my spines on the dinosaur by sticking these push pins through, since I have no real glue to speak of anymore. It's going to hold anything.
Right.
And I'll need more for this. But it's going to become part of the dinosaur's head because it's got this fantastic mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And I can even maybe put some teeth in once I decide to cut up this plastic fork. That's going to happen when the glue gun is around.
Right.
I don't know if Deidre is still on the call.
Yes,
But
I'm
I have to.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, Deidre. I have to tell you, I'm doing a poetry course where I'm writing each week. And I'm doing another project with memes on the computer. And I'm doing this sort of and collages. And I have 2 writing workshops this week. And I have to apologize, Deidre, because sometimes by the time I get to class on Friday, I am wiped.
You're very busy.
Wonderful to be so full like that. With
So
the-
artful.
Yes, that's beautiful. Well, Donna, I have to tell you, thank you so much for telling me about this tinkering. I only heard of it because of you, so thank you. I've been thoroughly enjoying my time here.
Oh, so wonderful. So
And
great.
remember too, there's another one coming up. And there's also going to be a making workshop connected to a special use of the graphic novel and comics.
Yes, I signed up for that one too.
Yeah, it sounds very cool.
Yes. Well, I often teach the graphic novel with kids, so I thought maybe I'd be able to add to the experience.
Very cool.
Can we bring our grandkids?
I don't see why not.
Can they assist? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not doing, Sucker's not doing the graphic novel. That's also with Fourth Space, though. So it's kind of the same connected container.
Yeah.
It's with what? I'm sorry, Floor.
Fourth Space. So Fourth Space is our host. They're and they do lots of workshops and video series. People that are connected. So the graphic novel is their upcoming, and they sent it as connected with the work that we're doing because it's all intertwined. But I'm putting the last link to our mystery package in the chat as well. That was sort of our last making session with that, but definitely check out the graphic novels as well. That's very cool. And we may pop up and do some more sessions like this. We may also connect with the archives that are doing general making online. I shared that link up above as well. And I think Anna from the Fourth Space will take all of these links and send a kind of follow-up email to all of the participants that came today. So you don't have to worry too much about trying to grab things out of the chat. But you also, if you did want to save the things from the chat, you can press file in the bottom corner of the chat, and it actually just saves the whole thing as a document.
You just save it to Google Drive, I guess?
Yeah, you can save it. Yeah.
I was, oh my God, what happened?
Or the 3 dots, and you can say save chat.
Okay.
The little drawing of a greenhouse.
Wow. I assisted one about a couple weeks ago, and I had asked for the notes on the chat because was my first time, and I was really gauche about trying to figure out how to save the info. And I asked for it, but I didn't get it because what I was interested in was in the card making. Somebody was talking about card making, and I was interested to learn about that. And I was wondering if there's any way to get that link. Or
Oh yeah, yeah. We had technical difficulties in the draw one, and the chat was lost. But you're talking about NDG, the NDG Art Hive that was doing a card making fundraiser.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Is that what you were thinking?
Well, I was just wanting to know. I just wanted to, get some inspiration on how to make cards. So
yeah.
So you said it was the NDG?
Yeah, the Art Hive.
Okay.
Were they excuse me, they were doing a fundraiser, card making fundraiser? When did that take place?
Well, it was in conjunction. So they did a whole pre-Christmas drive for handmade cards that they distributed to seniors in the neighborhood. So that was part 1. And then part 2, they chose a few drawings, I think, and printed cards and placed them in certain cafes in NDG. And they were pay what you can, I think $1 to $3 or something like that, to raise money for the Art Hive. Since their studio in years past has popped up in Gerard Park or in other places, they don't have any permanent space. So they were trying to kind of come up with creative ways to generate a little bit of income that could help with some of their operations.
Well, the thing is, I have like hundreds upon hundreds of art cards, some of them finished, some of them not. Wow. And I'd be, quite happy to donate some. They could also be sold, but most of them are one-offs, the way they're made in collage. And so they'd have to probably be sold individually. I started working this way with them because I originally worked with the Expression LaSalle, and when they would do workshops and sell the cards, it was more promotional than being a real fundraiser. But that's how I started working in this way, and they would be original cards. But I mean, I'd certainly have things to donate because I'd spoken about donating them to the NDG Food Bank, but at the time I communicated with them, they didn't have any real sort of plan, and I'd have had to have created the fundraiser myself, or else given them cards to distribute to their good donors.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's something with them is possible now too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly directly connected with them. I would suggest sending another message and reaching out. So they're a pretty active group. I think you can find them through Facebook. Or I can do a little
Art
bit.
Hive, eh? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that would be good. Because I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Some of my cards, I want to keep them for exhibition because along with other small collage works I've done, I probably got enough to like fill about 4 walls of a room.
Wow.
But I mean, some of them aren't complete. Anyway, I can maybe send some pictures at some point to you guys, so you at least or the archive will see what they're like. Plus, I'll have the collages I've been making with the maps and stuff.
Wow, yeah, I'd love to see
to
them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, maybe you were the one talking about it then last time.
No, I didn't know about that workshop at all. Okay, this is something I wanted to show you. I don't know how well you'll see it. This is a map, and this is a contour map, a landscape contour map. And I originally got this, it was one of the geographic ones that Concordia threw out. Like at one point they had a great big stack. Before you guys were working, you had a great big stack on a table. But
Yeah.
We got the rest of them. So all the ones that got left behind, we now have, and we sent many out in the packages. So that's perfect. How wonderful.
yeah, but just look, see, like it looks like the woman's legs in tights.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing?
That's
So it's
great.
going to be a fantastic basis for collage.
I love collage. That's one of my favorite mediums for sure. I'm just noticing the time here, and it's 2:25, and I was just wanting to check in and see if anybody that would like to share that didn't get a chance to. There was a few visitors that we haven't seen.
You can also just show your hands too, like I'm doing in the Tinker Cam. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, the garage is coming along.
Very nice.
Oh.
I don't want to finish it. I'll let him finish it with pictures and all that kind of stuff. So
Great.
Collaborative.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
How do you do it that it was going back between the two cameras only, and when you're doing the Facebook Live, you can save it afterwards?
It's you're saving it through Zoom.
Oh, okay. So how do you do Facebook Live and Zoom at the same time?
So you'd have to do some Googling around, but there is, and you would need a pro account from Zoom in order to
Paid account, you mean?
Pardon?
A paid account?
Yeah, a paid account with Zoom.
Account. Okay.
To link, you have to link it with your Facebook, and that's the way to be able to do a Facebook Live with a Zoom webinar or workshop or whatever.
Okay, and when you're recording, how is it recording, but it's not going to record the people that are in the room with us?
So there's one frame that has been pinned, and it's, oh, Doug can tell us about it.
Doug from the Fourth Space, everyone.
Yeah, if you're streaming straight directly out of Zoom, you have the person, whoever is the host, has the ability to pick which view goes out into the Facebook live stream, whether it's the gallery view or active speaker view, or in this case, because it's a meeting, it's the spotlighted view.
And so it blocks out everything else. Except how was it that at the beginning there were we saw the main person and then it went to the showing the hands? Like at the beginning it was two views.
That was Doug. He was controlling.
That was me magically switching which one.
Oh, you just switched it back and forth. Okay.
You can switch it, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Doug. So that's Doug. He's been doing all the behind the scenes stuff, switching cameras and everything, putting this nice care package graphic up on the screen. Yeah, Doug and Anna at the Fourth Space have been really wonderful getting this all together and co-hosting with us these sessions. And it's been so great to do these sessions, and just reminding you all that next week Monday, I believe, is our last session. It's the mystery package session. So that's the package where it was kind of all the bits and pieces that were left, and we put it in.
That one's at 2 o'clock.
That one's at 2.
Yeah.
And I see Anna's waving her hands round and around.
She's arrived again.
You know, I've been waiting for the mystery package this whole time. You just have to use the word mystery. You just got some people signed
Mystery
up.
package.
That's right. No,
So-
we're really excited. Sorry, Ariane, didn't
No.
want to cut you off.
Oh, it's okay. So yeah, we've come to the end of our session. Thank you again for joining us today and building and tinkering and making with us.
Ooh,
Um,
Sylvie had one thing
oh.
she wants to. You were
Oh
No.
yes, I was inspired by Arian. I made I don't know what it is there, but it's I guess an animal with many legs.
I love it.
Cool. Very cool.
Great.
Thank
And
you.
I thought I'd make a few of them and use them like puppets, make a little show, a little
Yeah.
skit with my grandson, not alone.
Great.
You
That's
can do it
awesome.
alone too. We're in a
Yeah,
different
I
time.
suppose.
We're in a different time. We're in a different
People will think I'm on Zoom.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thanks again for joining us. And Anna, I leave it to you.
Thanks, Ariane. I was just saying that for the folks who didn't turn on their cameras here today, but who were following along, I just saw some reactions in the chat, some hearts were sent out, some thumbs up, etc. So thank you all for your interaction in whatever way you feel comfortable interacting in. Is that a sentence? I'm not sure. Anyway, party hats are flying now. So we're so glad that you took the time to just actually to take some time for yourself, sit down in community with others and tinker away at making something with your hands. We really appreciate this moment of coming together. And as has already been mentioned, next week we'll have the final of these sessions with the Center for Creative Reuse, and all of you are invited back to continue working on what you started today or something completely new and mysterious. We don't know. And I do hope you didn't mind that in that email I sent this morning that I did kind of invite you to another event. It is not, as was suggested, it is not a collaborative event with Sucker this time around, but as we mentioned, at Fourth Space, which is a literal space in downtown Concordia, where we kind of work with community members, our faculty members, our researchers, our students, our staff members, to come in and kind of get behind the scenes of what you're working on in terms of various initiatives, research, and kind of anything related to course activity. So if you want to check us out, concordia.ca/4, like the number 4, you'll see that we do events constantly. And these, of course, are very special in that list of events, because we love working with Sucker and we've had such a great time making with you all. But yeah, please do check us out if you're interested. All of our events are live and free and open to the public. So you're more than welcome to register for anything. Okay, on that note,
Thank you.
you're most welcome, and we hope to see you back again on Monday. And otherwise, from now until then, we wish you a great weekend. And yeah, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Bye. Thank you.